As omnivores, rats are able to eat a huge variety of different food. Did you know rats have the ability to associate what they've eaten with how they feed afterward? If your rat tries a new food and later feels unwell, they will avoid that new food in the future. Similarly, if a rat living in a community becomes sick, other rats in the community can smell what their friend has eaten and will also avoid that food in the future too. These skills are one of the many reasons why rats have been so successful in distributing themselves across the globe and haven't been lost by the rats who are our pets. When I was choosing what and how I wanted to feed my current pet rats, I took guidance from the UK Rat Fancy, where there's a leaning away from feeding a complete nugget, which is where rats get all they need in one biscuit. My rats are all over 8 months. I don't need to feed to promote growth and development, and what's important to me is to feed to maintain condition, long healthy lives, and enrichment. Let me describe in more detail why I decided a complete nugget wouldn't meet all of these needs for me. To me, feeding for condition is the least you should consider when choosing what to feed your rats. It can be met by feeding a diet which meets the nutritional requirement for your rat at their current life stage, and that part is very important as it changes, but also by feeding the correct amount. Overweight rats make me just as sad as overweight cats and dogs, as they're impacted by the same life-limiting diseases. I feed a mix, so I want my rats to eat everything and I don't want them to pick and choose the tasty bits, so I don't free feed their mix, which also helps me to maintain their weight. My rats are given enough food to ensure that they maintain a steady and healthy weight, a good body condition and activity level. Feeding for health is a more complex subject because the health problems faced by bucks and does, and whether they're desexed or not and from what line they're from, are all different. Let's acknowledge that what you feed your rat early and throughout their life will impact their health later. Same for people. I don't want my neutered buck to become overweight or for his diet to increase his chances of dying from kidney disease, and I don't want my doe's risk of developing mammary tumours to be increased by their diet. So I restrict the amount of food that they eat in 24 hours. I limit the amount of protein they eat, and I choose mostly soy and sometimes egg as the primary protein source in their diet. These kind of restrictions and choices aren't something that I would have been able to do from a nugget based food source. Now let's talk about my favourite topic, enrichment. To me, enrichment isn't just hiding treats in a wrapped gift box and letting my rats figure out how to open it. It's about letting my rats be rats in their cage and reintroducing an element of choice into an environment where I've taken choice away from them. At the start of the video, I mentioned that rats are omnivores with the fantastic ability to forage for food in the most alien of environments. They seem to even take joy in eating their favourite food. Feeding a mix lets me give choice at very little cost to me. By scatter feeding, I'm letting my rats be rats, while also encouraging them to eat anything that they find as soon as they find it. They need to forage for their dinner and eat anything that they find. I wanted to finish by acknowledging that rats do very well in a variety of diets, from homemade mixes to commercial nuggets, from vegan diets to even omnivorous diets. We should make a habit of keeping up to date with the commercial food available to us as rat owners and be prepared to find alternatives when they don't meet research-based requirements for our rats. For me, enrichment and health and ability to control the protein source was an important need for me and my rats, and I wanted to be able to meet it, and in the UK there just wasn't a nugget that let me do that. We all have the luxury of being able to choose depending on the sources available to us. Now, don't let this be a one-way conversation. There's a lot I haven't covered here, and I love taking inspiration from the ideas of others and what is working for you. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and do take the time to read sources I've linked in the description before getting angry that I'm using a mix when perhaps in your area or your culture, nuggets are the go-to standard. Thank you very much for listening or just enjoying videos of my rats being rats, and I'll see you later.